And actually, if you understand, we are actually planning to launch our skin range also. This month or next month, we will launch our skin range. Even our previous products also, what always we did is we try to take ancient ingredients. Let's say Ayurveda is already there. Ayurveda, mein you like the formulation, you know that formulation works, and we try to can we if we try to integrate this with a modern science.
Hello everyone, this is Mohit and you're listening to Grow D2C podcast series where we make podcasts with well-known D2C founders and reveal unique market insights. Our guest today is someone who has done the amalgamation of technology and ancient Ayurveda and innovated the cosmetic industry. Mr. Harsha, who is founder of Tru Hair and Skin. Do hit subscribe button to get notified whenever we post a new video. Now, without any further delay, let's get started. Hi Harsha, thanks a lot for joining to tell us more about the brand and the product of True Hair and Skin from your founder journey to now, how it has evolved from all these years. How did the origin of True Hair and Skin started, and what is the vision of the company? Given there are so many options available in a very similar fashion.
Hi Mohit, first thanks for having me. When we started, I think we finished just 2 years in August 2020, launched our brand in 2020 August. So the vision is very simple. What identified a gap in the market where there is no Ayurveda and technology are integrated by other companies. So when we started True Hair and Skin, we want to attack this space where we realized that when we combine Ayurveda or any ancient sciences, Ayurveda is one of the ancient sciences. The logic behind our story is, we want to combine ancient sciences and technology to improve the customer experience. To keep it more clear, I will just give one example. The first product we launched is hair oil with the heater. Maybe we can discuss a little more during the podcast, but our first product, hair oil with the heater, is also, hair oil. Ayurvedic hair oil is a existing old Ayurvedic. It's there are a lot of Ayurvedic scriptures. All of them are existing, right? But if you refer Ayurvedic scriptures, many places it's clearly mentioned that applying warm oil is good. So we know Ayurvedic hair oil, they are existing, and there's also there's enough evidence to prove that heating Ayurvedic oil and applying it is a good thing. So we developed a heater. In a nutshell, that's what we mean by integrating ancient sciences with tech.
Okay, got it. And how did you find the gap? So how did you arrive at, like, okay, there is a need in the market. Obviously, there is people knew beforehand that there's a benefit of heating the oil and then applying to the hair, and then you found the gap. Okay, there is a technical innovation required, and to fill this gap. How did that journey came up?
Okay, let me start from the beginning, Mohit. Whatever I can recall, I'll try to recall as much as I can. So, as I told you, I was working in a dermatology space, pharma company. So, most of the Indian pharma companies do have Ayurvedic products also. Not a big portfolio, but every company will have a small portfolio of Ayurvedic products, most of them. So, we also have our, in the company I was working also, I'm still working with the same company. So, the company has also got the small amount of Ayurvedic, products with them. Again, dermatology, how it works is, pharma works is you will be promoting the products to the doctors, and doctors will be recommending the products to the patients. So, normally typical pharmaceutical, companies work. What we realized is there are few products within the portfolio that can be directly positioned to the customer without prescription as well. One of the product we have, I mean, we have a couple of products. One of the product we have is hair oil. We already have the formulation with us, and we're just thinking how can we get into the FMCG. It can be at that point. It's not just hair oil. We have a couple of products with us. We are just thinking what are the products we can position to the customer. So when we started doing the research, I personally went to multiple supermarkets, just try to understand, how exactly the customer's behavior will be. So just used to stand, me and a couple of my team members, some two, three of us, just used to observe, nothing, nothing prefixed in mind. Just want to understand how people are behaving in different categories. One of the interesting category we observed is hair. Again, within dermatology, also, we're pretty good with trichology. As a company, we got a very good understanding of trichology. So it made a lot of sense for us to pay more, attention to that part of the shelves. You realize that people are actually picking Ayurvedic oils also. I do agree there's a lot of coconut oil. I mean, the shelf is always 60% will be coconut oil, but you see only one or two brands, right? But when you say Ayurvedic, you have a lot of brands. And people are actually, when you say the people who are picking these one or two brands, right, they're actually buying oil. It's a commodity for them. But people who are actually buying Ayurvedic products are actually trying to solve a problem. We started understanding and we started speaking with the customers. We asked, okay, just give me your routine. Like a simple. All we try to do is to develop a pen portrait. Like we all understand the day to day in general about the customer, nothing about the product. So we start asking, okay, tell us a little more about how you normally take care of yourself, skin, hair. Start wherever you want to. So one thing we realized is most of the people are using hair oils, and so we lock the hair oils. People are using the hair oils. Maybe that can be the starting point. Anyway, we also in the back end may have a hair oil product. When we started asking little more, the people then started telling that there is this couple of them. I think one or two people mentioned that they normally used to heat the hair oil at the time of application. That's interesting point. We took that insight and then asked the same. We started asking multiple customers the same question. Do you know? Okay, if you are using any hair oil, do you know heating the hair oil? Most of 33% of the people, I think we spoke around 1,500 people or close to 1,400, 1,500 people, and out of them, 33% of the people did tell us that they know heating hair oil is good for them. Might not be exactly knowing the scientific reasoning behind the heating the hair oil, but they do know that heating the hair oil is good for them. But out of 33%, only 2 or 3% of them are actually heating and applying. So that's the eureka sort of a moment for us, and we already have a good formulation with us, and the formulation we have also pretty much works on the scalp absorption, blood circulation. So when we went and checked back with the Ayurvedic manufacturers and experts, also we realized the products work better. Especially the formulation we have works a lot better if we heat it and apply it. If we heat it to a lukewarm of 65 degrees something, and if we apply it, it works really better. So that's how our first product launched. The entire process took almost a year and a half for us. 2019, 18, and May 19 May, the entire uh, went into understanding the market itself.
So, so again, when you found out that it's a huge chunk, when you do a user research and find that 33%
Yeah.
are facing the same dilemma, that they know that heating oil will help them, but they don't have any solution out there in the market. It's all manual process. So again, there are other conventional FMCG
Mm.
companies out there, right? They haven't tried it before,
Yes.
right? But since the vision of True Hair and Skin as a brand would be more around amalgamation of ancient Ayurveda and technology, and was it little apprehensive in early on, because you're trying to do something that was never there in market and no
Yeah.
conventional FMCG brand.
Yes, even when initially when we got the idea and when we were discussing internally also, it seems little. I mean, out of the industry. At least I can tell you that I was out of the. See, I'll tell you. We always want to create a massy brand. It became D2C. I mean, I think previous conversations when we were also having outside the context, as I told you, right? We never intended to create a D2C brand. We want to create a massy traditional. The reason, understand how any traditional FMCG, let's say traditional FMCG companies work. Everything is in process. Normally when I go back to my pharmaceutical, companies or it's a all these are traditional companies where the systems are already in place. So if you create something that is not in place, the systems will get affected. See, I'll tell you how it works. The manufacturing cost should be this much. MRP should be this much. Why MRP? Give the product that cost me, your manufacturing cost should be at some X. For that X, already the process is fixed. There will be okay. These many liters of oil needs to be produced. For packing, this much amount should be allocated. So everything is so over system because it's almost an 80, 90 years old industry we're talking here. So anything you want to create new thing will break the structure. I think for the existing companies, there's a lot to lose, and from for a new entrant like us, we have nothing to lose. We don't. I mean, we don't want to follow because we don't have anything, right? We don't have any rigid systems with us already. So we thought, why can't we create something? If you remember, also, wearable technology is actually. I mean, it started becoming trending in 2018, 19 ka time. If you remember, Mohit. I think the homes are getting. We are actually bringing Alexas to our house, and even for pharma also, we saw people actually using apps to measure, to maintain their dosages, diabetics may, cardiology may. So that we can see the clear transformation. People are actually trying to integrate technology into their life.
But again, Harsha, there were. Could you let us know about challenges, because you had a background previously which didn't involve much of making a whole new technological device as a brand, right? And it's a whole new thing. So
Yeah.
what were the challenges did you face?
Funny part, Mohit. I mean, zero knowledge when it comes to developing any electronic device. Manufacturing, pharma products or cosmetic products or Ayurvedic products is a very different ball game, and developing electronic component is it's a completely different ball game. But when I got this, when this idea popped up in my mind, I felt it's extremely simple. There is a heater. All you need to do is to just take that small heater, make it small, and give it to the customer. As simple as that. In my mind, it is as simple as that. If heater can turn off at certain temperature, normally if you see most of our heaters will automatically turn off after certain temperature, right? So for my mind, in my mind, it's extremely simple. So I thought it'll be simple. I pitched the idea also to. I think we pitched to almost all 74 manufacturers, designers, someone who work in this part of the industry, man. Both India and even abroad also. Most of the time, we got rejected. People, I mean, for them also, it's the technology what we are asking. It was not existing at that point of time, man. So for them, it did not make any sense to create, when we tell them we need a portable heater that needs to heat the oil at certain temperature, and after reaching the heat at the temperature, the heater needs to turn off. Now, why the heater needs to turn off? Because if you overheat the hair oil, the essence of the ingredients in the oil will get destroyed. In 1 year of product development, be it or not, I think 7 8 months went with the rejections only.
Okay,
So
that must have been very hard.
very
Like
hard.
7, 8 months, rejection, rejection, rejection. Customer value is fixed. We can do it if we provide the solution, but solution is something that needs to be developed. And 7, 8 months of rejection.
Luckily, what happened? It's an interesting story. So what happened was I randomly, while doing the research, normally there are a lot of freelancers who actually does the college projects, engineering projects. So basically, I approached few of them, and one of them actually gave me a proto design, not entire product, but proto design, where he figured out the technology that can be used to build this. From the proto design, again, then we started contacting suppliers. Suppose, let's say, a heater ke liye with supplier, thermostat with supplier, like ke liye supplier, like multiple there are total 25 components involved in the heater, almost. So 25 suppliers, we start contacting them, and we brought all those components and put together, and finally made a first proto heater. So I think after once that is established, we presented the product to the suppliers, who are more capable of improvising it. If there's something already existing, people are okay to look into it.
Yeah.
That's what I realized, rather than just going with just an idea, people,
Hmm.
I don't know, maybe there is some constraints in the mind or something, they're not willing to push themselves. But when there is some design, a lot needs to be done with the design also, but at least they're okay. Something is there, now they're okay to improvise and work on it. So yeah, in that way, the proto design really helped, and we got it patented.
And how did you got the materials? Like the prototype was ready from from one of the I would freelancer would be a good term.
It's a pretty gray industry. I know it's a gray industry, and the gray industry, one person in the gray industry helps me to build this.
Okay, got it. But still procuring the parts, how about those things? Still the problem is not solved.
Out of 27 components, 25 of them are actually made in India, completely developed from scratch.
So how did you secure patent? Patent is another thing you need to secure it so that you can safeguard your interest in longer term.
It's not really hard, that the technology was never available. So you create it for the first time. Maybe in the software or other places, it might be a little harder, but electronics may, because you're developing this entire tech for the first time, the process for the first time. So we are able to apply it, and we did not face any problem in applying, or the process was for us. We felt it's pretty strict.
I think by end of the 2019, were you able to have it in at a producing at a larger scale?
Okay, let's say 2019, 2018 end May we started this entire project. Till 2019, I think till September, October also, it's still in conceptual or prototype only. After maybe November, December only, we finally found the supplier, and we are ready to produce the product. So in 2020 February, I think we got our first heater, alpha version of the product first in hand in 2020 February.
Okay, got it. Talking about time when you felt things like it was not going as you had planned, like during the development phase itself, what was your say, battery down moment, or how did you overcome that?
As I told you, I don't know. I mean, somehow I felt the product is pretty plausible. I felt, people are not understanding my concept. Initially, 8 9 months also when I was struggling, for me it's very simple. In my mind, I can see a heater in house. Why can't you develop a portable small size of this? As simple as that. So, and every time the rejection happens, whatever the time you invested got wasted. So that is a pain point. But every time I got rejected, I think I don't know. I mean, I still felt it is possible to, it's just I need to find one more supplier sort of mindset. But I never got demotivated.
So how about the teams? Like, what were the good practices as a founder you took a step as in the culture and the team is intact while facing so many rejection?
Okay, initially, when at that point of time, only two of us are work experience. Except both of us, no one else in the company believed that what I'm trying to explain is at that point, we don't have a team.
One more thing, just out of curiosity, Harsha, asking, you completed your graduation from Symbiosis, Pune,
Yeah.
and went to England for your masters. What motivated to come back to India? What was the thought process?
So basically, this entire research happening while I was in UK only. So basically, I finished my graduation, then I worked in few companies. Then I joined Medminar. In after joining Medminar in 2018, I told this consumer research happened.
Okay.
The research almost done, and 2019, I already applied for few universities in UK, and I got into UK, and I supposed to join in 2000. I got a offer letter in 2019 to join. Almost 2 years I stayed almost there only. This entire research, everything happened while I was finishing my masters.
So again, now coming back to that story, the product, proto design prototype is somehow finalized by 2020 Jan Feb
Hmm.
time,
Yeah.
and sales and marketing strategy must have been set, but COVID happened, right? So how did the sales and marketing strategy change during COVID?
Actually, I did not answer your previous question. Just I realized. So you said why I came back, right? Once the prototype is ready, I felt now this is the time to come back to India and to disrupt the market.
Okay,
That was
okay.
the mindset. You will be once you have finally worked for 1 year and you can see the prototype. I was like, done. This is the idea I want to work on. So I came back completely motivated. Then I actually hired the world's number one creative agency to handle this project. So very good agency. It's just the timing. No, I mean so we actually created a campaign, a TV campaign, and March end May we launched the campaign. But before that, I think March 24th, 23rd May, we even called the distributors because I told you right, we never intended to create a D2C brand at all. In our mind, it's always see the space where what identifies Ayurvedic tech is one thing, but what we thought is even for the positioning of the product also in 2020 also already there are a lot of D2C brands, right? But the pricing they are operating is at 500 rupees per product. Now you have your traditional products. They are operating at 200 rupees. Now the problem with the 200 rupee product is the products are not clean. I mean, clean in the sense the product contains certain chemicals like sulfates, parabens, which most of the Indians don't want to use the products that are with sulfates, parabens, or silicones and LPs, and they want clean products. But the only problem is you need to pay 500 to upgrade yourself. 200 product is not good to you, but now you need to pay more than double to get a good product. So what we realized is, what if we come and operate at 300 or 350 price range, mein, where we can offer all the goodness of the 500 product, but at an affordable price. Now you can say how your margins will operate. See, India is a mass economy. It's worked if even if your margins are tiny also, if you're able to sell volumes, India may it's fine, it's possible. So the immediate strategy, what I chose, at least at that point, was make hire a agency that who got very good knowledge of getting taking me inside the massy market, the TV campaigns, billboards, blah blah blah. So that is one part of the marketing. And coming to sales, we want distributors. So the product, by then the product is already ready. The prototype, everything is ready, and we presented the product to the all top big distributors in South India. Somewhere after mid March, we conducted the event and everything. We got the orders, and we the product is also ready by then. And
Again, an idea.
so we dispatched the products. The products left the warehouse. They're on their way. And evening, you got this news 15 days lockdown announcement. Whatever happens, I thought it's a good thing because I thought people will be sitting in the house. Now we'll be watching TV. So what can be a better timing than to run your TV campaign? Because TV campaign also suppose TV campaign already scheduled, month end May, so 3 months TV campaign. So in my mind, wow, whatever bad happened might be good for me only because now people will be in front of the TV. They might be watching the ads. They will be. I can get that awareness. Perfect. But then 2 weeks became 4 weeks, 4 weeks became 3 months, and the product got displayed, but got stuck in the warehouses. It never reached the distributor also. Exactly, I when this campaign was running, right? People used to message me on WhatsApp, "Hey, watching your ad, nice, great." I don't know, but it's a very strange place.
So how did now? What is the sales and marketing strategy during that?
So basically, see, the picture at that point is at least it got it. In front of me, the situation is very clear. Uh, COVID is not going to go anywhere at that point of time. Eh. So we need
Yeah.
a completely different strategy, 100%, because you stuck with 1 lakh units of. You need to get that inventory out because product never got launched. The product never reached the customers only. It got stuck in different places. The product never reached the customers only. So and at that point of time, no, we have an informative website. We don't even have an e-commerce website. It's just a one-page website where you just show them the product and a description about the products. It doesn't even have the e-com facility. We did not even enable that option also. So what we realized is again, people are actually spending a lot of time on social media, YouTube mein, during COVID times. All of us also did the same. So we reached out to agency uh, Pocket Aces, and we thought, okay, why can't we try as an experimental project? Why can't we launch the product to the customers using a D2, a digital integration? So we reached out to Dice Media and we launched our first video with Dice Media on Filtercopy. August 2020, we launched our first video. So,
Got it. Got
so
it.
I actually gave them the brief about the product, whatever the brief we already have in place. We told them this is our product. Why can't you do something for us? So we actually thought to launch, develop a script around it and launch the active integration in one of the Filtercopy videos. We did it in August 2020. Response was phenomenal. They are a script channel and they have multiple scripts releasing every week. So in one of the scripts, they integrated the product. They just created the conversation during the script around the hair, and they integrated the product into it.
And was there any link to Flipkart
Yes.
for your product or some website?
Yes. So Mohit, before that also, see, the product actually, if you see, TV campaign was running, but people cannot order the product. I don't even know whether I launched the product, I did not launch the product. So still, it's in my mind. If someone asks me, when did you launch True Hair, I say August May, because August May is the first time actually customers received the product. So what filter copy does is it actually proven the concept. Till then, people are watching it, but none of them are buying it because there's no way to buy the product, right? When filter copy video happened, the Flipkart and Amazon started also operating. I mean, they started selling all the categories. Till then, they were not. They were only covering the essential categories like whatever COVID, food, and all those categories. But obviously, they opened to all the categories. So we actually gave a link for the customers to the website. By then, before while this happening, parallelly we developed the website. And then we added the e-commerce. We enabled the website for e-commerce also, so people can purchase directly from the website itself. So after the video, watching the video, people started landing on the website, started buying the product. I think that was the first validation I got for the product. Okay,
Okay, got it, got it. And how was the traction? Like, was it how many views or engagement did you see?
engagement was pretty good. People landed. Not everyone lands because at that point we are a pretty new brand. Not everyone will purchase the product. Definitely at that point of time, with this activity, you need to see it as a branding perspective. Say. At least people are landing on the website, spending time on the website, going through the product. So those are on those parameters, man, it performed really well. So I think for next few months, we worked only in this active integrations of the product into multiple social media influencers. So we worked with them, and initially we built the brand.
Since True here, focus on the amalgamation of ancient Ayurveda as well as technology. How do you reflect these things in your brand image while you're doing offline or online marketing?
Something I'll always make sure is semiotically we need to make sure the person should feel while either he's using or getting discovering the product or using the product or at different points of his journey while he's using the product. I always make sure that they need to feel True Hair as a tangible technology. The same thing we try to implement in both online may offline may distributed multiple way, even internally also. We started our own offline stores, kiosks everywhere. At least we started placing them in all cities, major cities. Mein. We have this concept called hair analysis. Okay, Let me take step by step. Let me break this question into two parts. Now let's talk online. After launching hair oil with the heater, we did not stop there, right? We launched the hair oil with the heater. Customers bought the product, but we realized not at least again during the COVID, में though August में we started selling the product. That doesn't mean that I got a chance to go out. Still lockdown and we're still stuck in the houses only. So I got a lot of customer data and then I started calling the customers, which I enjoy a lot. I started taking their feedback. What do you think? Did you like the product? And at least 17 to 18% of the customers said they did not like the product. 17 to 18%. In my mind, that percentage, I felt it's huge. Because I gave them a great product. The product is very clean product, no harmful chemicals. I personally monitored the manufacturing process. I in I actually gave them a very good quality product and I gave them a technology. Why 17 18% people should not like the product? Attention. Most of the FMCG companies or even us, right? What we try to create a solution that fits everyone. But fundamentally, if you take any ancient science, Ayurvedic is also one of the ancient. All these ancient Ayurvedic or all these ancient sciences are a home sciences where the product earlier used to be made as per your requirement. Suppose if you now we are going to a doctor, earlier people used to go to a priest or Ayurvedic doctor.
Yeah.
They used to touch you. They used to understand your problem. Then they used to make the product and give it to you. Now this 18% of the people that did not like the product or did not get the result they expected to get are the people for who that product did not suit them. Now I don't want to reject this 18% of the people also. Then they gave us a solution in case if you are able to develop multiple products and able to map the right product to the customer, we can do this. Now this how can we map the right products to the customers, right ingredients to the customers more than the product. We developed a hair analysis. In the hair analysis, what we have done is we started questions under three subcategories. We call it as three-factor hair analysis. We try to understand your demography, your hair type, and your body type. These are the three categories we have. In your based on your demography, hair type, body type, we map you with the ingredients. Yeah.
What does it mean? Like, is it? Can you give an example? If I use this online hair analysis, what question will it ask me?
So basically, if you land on the website, if you go to the Tru Hair and Skin website, man, what we do is we ask you a couple of questions, around 14 questions. Based on your answers, we try to understand the scalp type or the body type, the problem you're facing. From those problems, we map you with ingredients. See, right from today, we have most of the hair care categories. We have hair oils, shampoos, supplements, everything. So we try to understand what are the ingredients that needs to go inside the body and what are the ingredients that should be applied topical. So once this analysis is done, back end may system, we built a logic. That logic will suggest you the products. Now, with this logic is suppose let's say earlier you have around 20% people are not satisfied with your product. After implementing this logic, only 5 or 6% of the customers are not happy with us. Again, I'm not getting into the space of a doctor problem solution. What we are trying to do here is with the solution when we develop this, we're trying at least 90% accuracy. Similarly, when you're talking about offline, what exactly we're doing offline, offline is what we have done is we created again for the first time we developed in the world we developed a hand gestures where a kiosk we developed where there's a camera attached on the top of the kiosk where people need to stand in front of it and can actually take the hair analysis using hand gestures. We keep you engaged using technology. We use WhatsApp. We use multiple other mediums.
Yeah. So basically, how are you leveraging YouTube, Instagram, other social media channel now versus then? What has changed?
When it comes to fintech, right? Imagine I'll be targeted. I don't know why, with some 15, 20 different companies every day. If you ask me, Harsha, tell me one company. I don't even think I'll be able to tell you one company also. So that's the channel that would initially uh, because it's not it's not working the same way right now for us. So but again we figured out different channels. That's I think it's a process where you try to find different channels.
If going back, if you look at now, what were the things you could have changed, or you think things were not doing going right? What are the things you would pick up that okay, I would have done in that other manner? What could?
One thing I realized is uh, while you're building something, right, it's not practically possible to have expertise or team that have expertise on everything. You need to be working with multiple partners. At the same time, you'll be hiring the people where you might not even have expertise also. So what I realized is my hard lesson is you should when you are not expert in something, it is better to bring the expert talent internally, or while you working with outside people, it's better to work with only the top 1% experts. So this is one thing. Initially, I used to randomly, I used to work with, rather than checking the people credit, I'm talking about agents, not the employees we actually brought inside. But at least big mistakes I used to do is we used to give away the project to the multiple outside vendors in all the aspects, man. At least the one where I am responsible for, without checking, by just listening to the pitch, but rather than paying more attention to the previous works. So that is something, I realized slowly that, we need to, while you are not expert in the particular subject, better to work with only the top 1% people in that domain. Might be expensive, but the most expensive thing is time. So you won't waste it.
How did you finalize the product launches post pandemic with customized solutions?
Post pandemic is little different. We used to follow a very different method. Now we are following a different method. Check our packing right now, which is developed, post pandemic. It was happened. No, sorry, happened before the pandemic. With when we were working with that big agency, I told you the number one agency, they developed it first. That
Okay.
packing intended for the offline customers. Now, let's say you walked into a supermarket. So the packing should create the relevance. When you see True Hair oil next to some 15 20 products, other brands, what you will only pick it if it is relevant, if you feel somewhere relevance to you. So we used to use, it's a very interesting study. We actually, right now, if you see, there is a woman picture on the packing. That's how normally traditionally it works, because traditionally people will discover the product, offline space mein, where for them to discover they need that relevance. So to
Correct.
create that relevance, you normally traditional packing mein, you see a lot of images, human images. Online mein, it's a different ball game, right? People will be still discovering, but online mein, what we realize is people will be focusing more on ingredients. So we are actually switching to our entire packing to more ingredient focus. Inside call me, one of the customers said they're actually using fermented rice water on their hair. Interesting. We asked why exactly you're doing it. Then they said, you know what? I don't like oil because oil is oily, and I really don't enjoy having a lot of oil in my hair. Fine, great. Then we took this insight and we started asking other customers also, hey, what is the problem? What is it, one thing you don't like about oil? Many customers, not most of them, but whoever actually not liking the oil, all of them said that now we have two problems. We need to create some a oil that is not oily for the customers who don't want to use oil.
Correct.
So
Correct.
we actually developed the fermented oil with the coconut water. So what we have done is it is still a oil, but let's say the typical oil viscosity. I'm just giving an example. Viscosity is 100. It is 100 thickness. Let's say it's 100. We created an oil. The thickness will be 40 or I know the lot of there's decent amount. I won't say everyone, but there's a decent percentage people who don't really like or applying on their head. Even with the same insight, even we developed the serum also. We use the same insight because serum also has similar problems. So we realized, let's create a serum that can be absorbed in 5 minutes. It should be like a water.
Coming to the distribution channels, right? So one of the major distribution channel when you went into a D2C mode was influencer marketing. So
Hmm.
if for any new D2C brand or for any brand, how should one look at influencer marketing? ROI angle, branding angle initially. What are the key factors one should keep in mind?
Okay, it depends. Honestly speaking, when it comes to influencer marketing, it's a top of the funnel branding activity. That is something we need to keep in mind. Second thing, it also depends upon the category. Now, again, let me give you my own example. So it will be more, I think it will become more relevant for the people, who are actually starting D2C, who are planning to get into DTC or who are already into DTC. We also experimented with a particular shampoo. So shampoo is a crowded category, and the ingredient we have is also a common ingredient. I'll give you the what is it. We actually thought of, we created a onion shampoo, which still there. We actually started running exclusive onion oil campaigns with the influencers.
Hmm.
The same influencers who also worked with our used for our other products also, the hair oil, the heels also. Why we did this? See, our onion shampoo is actually a very unique. We use a different formulation. We lather more than other brands. So in our mind, our product is much better. At least when I use different products, I feel my product is better. So
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
so basically, so we thought, why can't the customers pick my product over the competitor? But what happened, no? When we did this activity, what we realized is when we first time ran the integration with them, very small percentage of people are landing on the website. Reason being because onion is a crowded category, right? Again, what we did is we did not give up. We started working on the same influencer again. We asked the same influencer to promote the same product multiple times in multiple integration. We asked them to, okay, why can't you show the entire journey? You start using the product. We are giving you entire freedom, which we do with many influencers. We just give them, we tell them, you do it. You do it the way you want to do it. So this worked out. So the problem, what happened though in this movie, after four times, five times, four five integrations, people started landing on the website and started discovering the product. Again, it all depends upon the product and the category. Honestly speaking, every D2C, every founder, right? All of us also feel our products are unique only. But when we do the reality check, when we look inside the mirror, we need to ask ourselves, is it unique enough? If the answer is not unique enough, then you need to do a lot of hammering. And influencer marketing is an expensive, it's an expensive medium. So it depends again. But one thing I can tell you is it is crowded now. Let's say if they're doing every video, will have integration. So it is one versus 30 now, So it's 10 times more integrations they're doing than what they used to do.
So when it comes to selecting good influencers,
Hmm.
like what are the key criteria?
We check the engagement matrix. We check multiple things. We actually go and read the comments. We see the community. Suppose if it's Instagram, we try to, if someone is commenting, we try to analyze the profile of the users or the followers. For me, the first criteria we look is if the influencer got the touch with the massive crowd. So he cannot be just a social media, only the top 1%, 2% income level ka, his followers should be from the masses. And what trust the masses are holding for him. Are they going to take any action? Are they going to believe when he says? So these are the parameters we consider before selecting the influencer.
And when it comes to figuring out, a distribution channel that unexpectedly grew for you.
As I said, right, we want to be an offline brand. That never, I mean, initially it actually happening at a very rapid pace now from at least 1 year, say. But first year, it did not happen. Unexpectedly, we discovered the first distribution channel is luckily online, our own D2C. And the second we thought marketplaces will really help us a lot. But then we realized keys marketplace got really crowded by then already. Online initially I concentrated a lot only on our own website, driving the traffic because I feel that is of my data and I can own it. My users, I can create a better experience for them. Everything. I felt I have more control. So initial days, I did not concentrate much in the marketplaces, but we got a lot of traction, word of mouth. Say, product is unique. We used to get a lot of sales from marketplaces. More than website, we used to get marketplaces, but I never concentrated on it. But by the time I realized, okay, now I need to concentrate marketplace, it got crowded. It got very crowded. So it did not work out.
What are the practices do you maintain to maintain a good culture in the team?
One thing from my experience in past whatever years I worked in, I normally look only for three things. One is knowledge, empathy, reliability. Now, knowledge, you can improve your knowledge in any domain only if you're passionate enough. So basically, that's the reason why I believe in knowledge. And when you're working in a startup, most of the time people will be working not we all I personally believe in work-life balance, but sometimes there will be a day where you need to stretch. That
Yeah.
can only happen if you have empathy. You need to understand the situation I'm in. You need to understand as a founder what I'm going through, and I need to understand what you're going through in your life. Uh, and the last thing is reliability. I want a reliable people. Reliability is nothing more than you need to take ownership of your own work. I believe the micromanagement won't work in this world anymore. When the person takes ownership, no, you will not do any micromanagement. You leave the task to them. You'll believe in them and you leave it to them. So if they're not taking the ownership, you'll start getting into the micromanagement game, man. The moment you start getting into the micromanagement game, you know what will happen. The culture will take a hit. To summarize, normally I look only for the three things: knowledge, empathy, ownership. These are the only three things we normally, we actually look in the person.
And in D2C, marketing budgets are also a thing of concern. So when should marketing be aggressive?
I kept one parameter where there is this customer lifetime value. It's a very simple concept. I'll tell you what happened. You asked, right, Harsha, what worked you initially? Definitely, influencer marketing worked for me. But after one point, no, why I'm going to connect these two dots for you. What should be the, when you should spend money, when you should not spend money. Influencer marketing worked for me because of the product is unique. As you rightly said, I also got certain amount of ROI. So my customer lifetime value matched for me. After certain time, what happened is I actually, again, we are only South brand, right? We have only limited number of influencers that we can work only exclusive in South Indian metro cities, man. So ROI started taking a hit. Then I said nothing doing, complete hold. Even if turnover goes down, also doesn't matter because acquiring a customer at a unreasonable cost just to maintain the turnover won't make any sense. Long term, the business will collapse. But when you're doing performance marketing, all this is when you need to be extremely quick. You need more resources. You need to more content to be produced. It took us almost 10 months to build this entire thing to figure out the performance marketing internally because we tried working with external agencies, did not work out for us performance marketing man. So after 10 months again we started spending. We actually, let's say earlier we were spending X with influence marketing, now we are spending 4X.
Okay.
because I felt it's right. See, as long as our ROI or more than ROI, just tell them the same thing. Every person in my office, whoever works with us, all of us know what is the customer lifetime value. I'll tell them very simple thing. Listen, अगर एक प्रोडक्ट के लिए ए इतना हमें कस्टमर का एक्वायर किया तो think whether we'll get back our money after 3 years or not. अगर एक प्रोडक्ट का lifetime value is 3 years, now you see if you're acquiring customers at this product में, this is I just give them percentages. This is the percentage of money company needs to make. So it's a very simple matter. As long as the lifetime value of customer is being met, I doesn't spend. As there's no limit for spend, so you can keep spending. But if that lifetime value is taking a hit, nothing matters. Stop doesn't matter.
That they totally relate with all of those things. So, in fact, retention is very important for any business. Customer going, agar if some business is coming back and back again, and they are getting a value, they are paying the money. You have built a business, right?
Yes.
So, Harsha, uh, what would be your retention strategy?
Retention strategy for us, it's a pretty see consumer brand. The retention strategy will be end of the day. It actually starts only if customer likes your product. So our actual journey starts is mapping the right product to the customer. That's the first thing we need to take care of. After that, you need to do the follow-ups because the follow-ups needs to happen in multiple media. You cannot use Facebook and Google. You can't use your Facebook and Google anymore to because they're expensive platforms. You can't completely rely on them for retention. So for retention, what we normally use is emailers, SMS, WhatsApp, and we do this retention in such a way that suppose if you're buying a X product, we make sure that we will be showing the products that are only relevant to you. Now we have your data, we know what product you bought. So we make sure that rather than randomly sending a random product to every customer, we actually try to map the requirement of the customer and suggest the products.
Okay. And any channel that you are leveraging for retention?
Definitely WhatsApp. You know that bit. I'm feeling under the weather, and I'm still on this call because WhatsApp is extremely important, and you're handling my WhatsApp channel, so you are important to me now. My retention strategy is dependent, entirely based on you.
Definitely, definitely. Retention on WhatsApp, such a high read rate on WhatsApp,
Yes, yes.
retention will be very, very crucial. How has been the onboarding and support at Business on Board? Any feedback?
As I said, Mohit, I'm really feeling under the weather. I'm still on the call because I actually value you guys. I'll tell you the same thing. When I said 1%, right? In my mind, you guys are that 1%. What you did not introduce WhatsApp to True Hair and Skin. I told you right before you guys are on. You told you we are already using WhatsApp, but I'm not really happy. It's a self-serving platform. What happened? No, WhatsApp. I always see WhatsApp because when we do inside calls, one place where you actually all believe me or not, 80% of the customers are using YouTube as per the inside calls. Only 40%, 50% of the customers are actually on Instagram, at least our customers.
Hmm,
But
hmm.
100% of the, I mean, I actually can say 100% because honest, that's what I observed. Believe me or not, 100% of the customers are on WhatsApp. And you have the insights with you from very long time. And still, before you guys are in the picture, we used to run only 3, 4 campaigns we used to run like order or whatever. That doesn't mean that we're not capable of running. We have a lot of plans. We did not find a tool that can enable us to run multiple campaigns. I think we are working with you from 4 5 months, Mohit, now. And today, earlier we got only 3 campaigns. Today we got 18 plus campaigns. And every day you keep getting mails, and you keep getting emails from our from our WhatsApp team asking for more and more, more and more campaigns. And that's the one complaint I keep getting from the team. Okay, we want even more. We want even more campaigns. In that way, actually, you guys enabled it. You actually help the brands to, explore the WhatsApp to its full potential.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Harsha. I hope we would be able to support you in whatever way we can. In any other improvement, if you would like to suggest us, would love to work on that.
I don't know. Maybe it's a pretty recent. Basically, if you see, WhatsApp is actually. I think you guys at some point will fight with any CRM tools, man, or customer engagement tools, man. I'll tell you why. What I realized is you don't. At least our space, man, we don't require customers to come to website every day. We don't need engagement tools. We need retention tools. Suppose let's say you landed on our website. I don't want you to come. There's nothing for me to bring you back to the website next day. I have only limited number of products. I'm a brand, not a entertainment. I'm not into entertainment space, man. So what will happen now? Right now, because we don't have a channel, we most of us are actually using these engagement tools. But after you guys onward from past 4 months, we realized is we don't need that engagement tool anymore. we actually discontinued one of those engagement tools. Reason being, we realized ki, Arey, why do you need so many channels? All you need is you are using Facebook, Google anyway. You'll run separately. And what rest of the tools you have? Mail, WhatsApp, SMS. Right? And what we realized, okay, WhatsApp is where we're getting a good engagement compared to mail. SMS, so okay, SMS is a hygiene tool rather than an engagement tool. Now, the only challenge we face after doing that is there's no frequency cap.
Okay.
Earlier, again, one more thing. Earlier, when I used to run the campaign, everything only one or two people driven, you know what is happening because you are the one who's doing it. Now, when you increase the team size, the same medium will be used by multiple teams. Retention team will use WhatsApp. Top of the performance marketing team will use WhatsApp. Or different teams will be social media team will use WhatsApp. Now, what will happen is I am the user. Imagine from my company only the same user will get three different messages.
Correct.
Nothing wrong. You can send as many messages as you want, but there is a logic where you cannot send more than hygiene practices. You cannot send more than two three WhatsApps in a week. Now that capping is missing. Earlier we used to have that capping. If we are using the engagement tools,
Correct. Correct. Yeah.
and if you are able, I mean, because we realized ki after once we remove that engagement tool, because for us you became a substitute. I mean, you guys became substitute for them. Sorry.
Correct. Correct.
So we saw no need of having engagement and paying them some engagement tools are expensive, you know that bit. I think if you are able to figure out the capping, Mohit, I think that will be a great way. And I think it's needed also. Now most of the brands are coming on WhatsApp. Earlier I used to follow all the brands that are on WhatsApp. Now every day some 15, 20 brands are targeting on WhatsApp and I'm actually getting irritated. I'll be doing work and the brand that did not even sign up will be sending a WhatsApp message to me. That irritates me. I never had this irritation before, but now it started because most of the people are getting inside the WhatsApp. So now to regulate this, I think definitely we need a good practice in.
Thanks a lot, Harsha, for trusting and believing in us, and thanks for the kind words. I think we are at our end of our podcast. It was amazing story. I think we learned a lot.